Have you ever paused to wonder about the vibrant, fluttering prayer flags that adorn Himalayan landscapes, seemingly dancing in harmony with the wind? These colorful flags are more than just beautiful decorations. They are profound symbols of Tibetan history, spirituality, and the timeless connection between humanity and the universe. Today we're taking you on a captivating journey into the heart of Tibetan culture, uncovering the mysteries, meanings, and legacy of these iconic prayer flags. These humble pieces of cloth carry messages of hope, compassion, and wisdom, bridging ancient traditions with our modern lives in ways that are deeply inspiring. The story of Tibetan prayer flags begins over 1,000 years ago, rooted in the wisdom of early Buddhist masters. Each flag, carefully imprinted with sacred mantras, prayers, and symbols, serves a purpose beyond the physical. It is said that as the wind brushes past the flags, the blessings carried in the prayers are dispersed throughout the world, spreading peace, kindness, and balance to all living beings. These flags are typically made in 5 colors, each representing an element and a direction. Blue symbolizes the sky, white stands for air, red for fire, green for water, and yellow for earth. Together they reflect the harmony of the universe, a reminder that everything in existence is interconnected. This concept, deeply rooted in Buddhist philosophy, urges us to live with mindfulness and compassion, not just for ourselves but for all sentient beings. Historically, Tibetan prayer flags were not just spiritual tools but also markers of cultural identity and resilience. Through centuries of upheaval and change, these flags have carried the collective hopes and prayers of the Tibetan people, acting as silent witnesses to their unyielding spirit and faith. But what makes prayer flags so relevant in today's world? In an age of technology and materialism, these flags remind us to reconnect with nature and to reflect on the values of kindness, empathy, and gratitude. People around the globe now use prayer flags not only as spiritual objects, but also as symbols of unity, hanging them in gardens, homes, and places of meditation. They inspire us to slow down and live with purpose, carrying forward the wisdom of ancient Tibet into our everyday lives. So, the next time you see these vibrant flags fluttering in the breeze, take a moment to reflect on their message. Let them remind you that, like the flags, we are all part of something greater, connected by the invisible threads of compassion, hope, and harmony. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Tibetan prayer flags. If this journey moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that delve deep into the rich tapestry of Tibetan history and spirituality. See you in the next video. The roots of Tibetan prayer flags stretch deeper into history than many people realize. Their origins trace back to ancient Indian Buddhist traditions, where early practitioners used cloth inscribed with prayers to offer blessings to the world. Over time, as Buddhism journeyed into Tibet, these simple cloth flags evolved, weaving themselves into the very fabric of Tibetan culture. Today, they are far more than symbols of religion. They represent the resilience, creativity, and spirituality of an entire people. What makes Tibetan prayer flags so special? They are carriers of wisdom that transcends boundaries of time and space. For centuries, Tibetan nomads used these flags to mark sacred spaces in the vast, open landscapes of the Himalayas. Monks inscribed mantras, sacred symbols, and prayers onto them, believing that when the wind touched the flags, the blessings they carried would flow freely into the world, spreading peace and harmony to all beings. Imagine the profound beauty of this idea, a simple piece of fabric transforming into a vehicle for compassion and hope. These flags are not just passive objects, they are alive with meaning. Each of the 5 colors, blue, white, red, green, and yellow, represents one of the 5 elements, a concept deeply rooted in both Buddhist philosophy and Tibetan cosmology. Blue symbolizes the vastness of the sky, white the clarity of air, red the energy of fire, green the vitality of water, and yellow the stability of the earth. Together, they remind us of the balance and interconnectedness that sustain life. They teach us that harmony isn't something to be found. It is something to be nurtured within ourselves and with the world around us. But the story of Tibetan prayer flags is not just about spirituality, it's also about resilience. Through centuries of change, upheaval, and even exile, the Tibetan people have held on to their traditions, and these flags have remained steadfast symbols of their identity and hope. They are markers of a culture that has endured despite immense challenges, testifying to the strength of faith and the human spirit. In our modern world, the message of prayer flags feels more relevant than ever. They remind us of values that transcend time, kindness, mindfulness, and a deep respect for the interconnected nature of existence. While many now hang these flags in homes and gardens as symbols of peace, their essence remains unchanged. They invite us to pause, to reflect, and to live with greater intention and compassion. So the next time you see Tibetan prayer flags fluttering in the wind, remember their story. They are more than colorful decorations. They are whispers of an ancient philosophy that speaks to the heart of what it means to be human. They remind us that even in the chaos of life there is beauty, balance, and a profound sense of connection waiting to be discovered. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the rich tapestry of Tibetan history and spirituality. If you found this story meaningful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into the wisdom of ancient cultures. Let's continue to explore the ways these timeless traditions can inspire our modern lives. See you in the next video. Have you ever wondered about the significance of the colors on Tibetan prayer flags or why they are set to flutter in the wind? Each of these vibrant hues holds a profound meaning, representing the very elements that sustain life. Blue symbolizes the boundless sky. White represents the purity of air. Red embodies the energy of fire. Green reflects the vitality of water, and yellow signifies the grounding strength of the earth. Together, they form a delicate balance, a visual reminder of the harmony we must cultivate within ourselves and with the natural world around us. But the beauty of these flags doesn't stop with their colors. Look closely, and you'll see intricate texts inscribed on them, sacred mantras and sutras passed down through centuries of Buddhist tradition. These texts are far more than decorative patterns. They are blessings of compassion, wisdom, and peace, meant to touch every corner of the universe. The messages are universal, transcending language, culture, and beliefs, offering hope to all who encounter them. Now, why are these prayers printed on flags rather than written in books or spoken aloud? This is where the magic of Tibetan spirituality reveals itself. When the wind brushes past these flags, it carries the prayers, spreading their blessings to everyone it touches, near and far. Imagine this for a moment. An invisible thread of kindness moving with the breeze, weaving humanity together in ways we may not even realize. The tradition of prayer flags is deeply rooted in Tibetan history, a legacy of ancient wisdom and resilience. Over the centuries, these flags have adorned monasteries, mountain passes, and homes, always fluttering as silent guardians of balance and peace. They were not only spiritual tools but also markers of sacred spaces, reminders to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the divine. For the Tibetan people, these flags became symbols of unity and strength, standing steadfast through countless challenges, preserving their culture and faith against the odds. In a world that often feels divided, the lesson of the prayer flags is one we all can embrace. They show us that our actions, even the smallest ones, have the power to ripple outwards, influencing others in ways we may never see. Just as the wind carries their blessings, we too can be agents of kindness and harmony, no matter where we are or what we face. So the next time you see Tibetan prayer flags fluttering in the breeze, take a moment to reflect. Let them remind you of the interconnectedness of life, of the delicate balance we must cherish, and of the power of compassion to transcend all boundaries. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Tibetan history and spirituality. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Together, let's continue exploring the wisdom of ancient traditions and how they can guide us in our modern lives. Until next time, may the blessings of the prayer flags touch your heart and light your path. The Tibetan prayer flag is more than just a piece of cloth waving in the wind. It is a profound symbol of Tibetan resilience, spirituality, and the enduring strength of a culture that has faced unimaginable challenges. For centuries, these flags have served many purposes, protecting homes, marking sacred spaces, celebrating milestones, and even standing as silent protests against oppression. Their story is not only about faith, but also about hope, unity, and peaceful resistance. Picture this. In the high mountains of Tibet, amidst vast and rugged landscapes, these flags flutter proudly, their colors vibrant against the sky. To outsiders, they might seem like simple decorations, but for Tibetans they carry an incredible weight of meaning. They are a connection to their ancestors, their beliefs, and their heritage, a way of preserving what is sacred, even when the world around them changes. The tradition of prayer flags dates back over 1,000 years, evolving from early Indian, Buddhist practices. When Buddhism spread to Tibet, these flags took on a unique role, merging spiritual devotion with cultural identity. Monks inscribed sacred mantras and sutras onto the flags, believing the wind would carry these blessings far and wide, touching all beings with compassion, wisdom, and peace. Over time, the flags became more than tools of prayer. They became a part of Tibetan life, woven into celebrations, rituals, and even acts of defiance. During times of political turmoil and oppression, Tibetan prayer flags took on yet another layer of meaning. They became quiet yet powerful symbols of resistance. When freedom of expression was denied, the flags remained, carrying messages of hope and resilience without uttering a single word. To raise a prayer flag was an act of courage and a declaration of identity, an assertion that no matter what challenges came, the spirit of Tibet could not be silenced. These flags are also deeply personal. Families hang them to mark births, weddings, and other milestones, offering prayers for health, happiness, and protection. They are placed in sacred spaces to honor ancestors and to invoke blessings for the future. Each flag represents a thread in the rich tapestry of Tibetan history, a reminder that even in the face of hardship, beauty and meaning endure. And yet the message of these flags is not confined to Tibet. Their colors, symbols, and prayers speak to something universal, the desire for peace, balance, and interconnectedness. They teach us that true strength lies not in confrontation, but in compassion, not in domination, but in harmony. They remind us that even the smallest gestures, like the flutter of a flag in the wind, can carry profound meaning and touch lives far beyond what we can see. So the next time you see Tibetan prayer flags swaying gently in the breeze, take a moment to reflect on their story. They are more than fabric. They are carriers of history, spirituality, and the unyielding resilience of a people who have faced the storms of time with grace and strength. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the rich history of Tibetan prayer flags. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe for more explorations into the wisdom and beauty of ancient cultures. Together, let's learn how these timeless traditions can inspire our modern lives. Until next time, may the blessings of the prayer flags touch your soul and guide your path. Fast forward to today, and you'll find Tibetan prayer flags far beyond the borders of Tibet. From yoga studios to hiking trails, from urban gardens to cozy living rooms, these vibrant flags have become a global symbol of peace and mindfulness. Their widespread use has introduced countless people to Tibetan culture, sparking curiosity and admiration for its rich spiritual heritage. But as their popularity grows, so does a crucial question. Are we truly honoring their origins, or are we inadvertently reducing sacred symbols to mere aesthetics? To understand this, we must first recognize what these flags represent. In Tibetan culture, prayer flags are deeply sacred. Each flag is imbued with spiritual intention, its colors symbolizing the 5 elements and its text carrying prayers for compassion, wisdom, and harmony. When hung with care and understanding, these flags are more than just decorations. They are acts of devotion and connection to something greater than ourselves. But as these flags have traveled far from their origins, their meanings have sometimes been diluted. In some places, they're sold as trendy accessories stripped of their sacred context. This raises an important challenge. How do we, as admirers of Tibetan culture, embrace these symbols without appropriating or commodifying them? My personal belief is that Tibetan prayer flags can serve as bridges between cultures, but only when approached with reverence and understanding. It's not about where they are displayed, but why and how. Are they being hung with respect for their spiritual purpose or simply for their visual appeal? Are we using them as reminders of interconnectedness and compassion, or have we forgotten the prayers they carry on the wind? To honor these flags is to honor the culture and history from which they come. It means taking a moment to learn about their origins, to reflect on the values they represent, and to acknowledge the resilience of the Tibetan people who have kept these traditions alive for centuries. It means recognizing that these flags are not just for us, they are for the world, spreading blessings to all beings without discrimination. When we approach prayer flags with mindfulness, they can inspire us in profound ways. They can remind us to live with gratitude, to seek balance in our lives, and to extend kindness to others. They can become not just symbols of Tibetan history, but also catalysts for connection and understanding across cultures. So, the next time you see a string of Tibetan prayer flags fluttering in the breeze, whether on a mountaintop, a meditation space, or even your own backyard, pause for a moment. Reflect on their story, their purpose, and their message. Let them remind you that spirituality is not about possession but participation, not about taking but giving. Thank you for exploring this important topic with me. If this discussion resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights into Tibetan history and the wisdom of ancient traditions. Together we can celebrate these symbols in ways that honor their true essence. Until next time, may the blessings of the prayer flags guide your journey with mindfulness and compassion. What can we, in our fast-paced and often chaotic modern lives, learn from Tibetan prayer flags? For me, their enduring presence speaks volumes. They are silent teachers, reminding us to embrace mindfulness, practice gratitude, and focus on the things that truly matter. Each flag, fluttering in the wind, holds a lesson about life, balance, and our connection to the world around us. The act of placing a prayer flag is more than a ritual, it's an act of hope. By hanging these flags, we set an intention, not just for ourselves, but for the world. It's a small but profound gesture, one that reminds us to cultivate positivity and compassion. The flags, with their prayers and mantras, are not static. They are alive, carried by the wind, spreading blessings to everyone and everything they touch. Imagine that, your hope, your good intentions, traveling across the world, beyond boundaries and barriers. In Tibetan tradition, the flags are a call to mindfulness. Their colors represent the natural elements: blue for the sky, white for air, red for fire, green for water, and yellow for earth. Together they symbolize the delicate balance of the universe and remind us of our place within it. They teach us to be present, to honor the interconnectedness of all things, and to strive for harmony in our thoughts, words, and actions. In a world often dominated by noise, distraction, and conflict, the simplicity of this tradition feels like a breath of fresh air. Hanging a flag invites us to pause, reflect, and reconnect, not only with our surroundings but with our inner selves. It encourages us to let go of negativity and focus on the values of kindness, empathy, and understanding. These are not just Buddhist principles. They are universal truths that resonate across all cultures and beliefs. Prayer flags also remind us of the power of intention. In Tibetan history, these flags have marked sacred spaces, celebrated life's milestones, and even stood as symbols of resilience during times of hardship. Their presence teaches us that no act of hope or compassion is ever too small. Like the wind carrying their prayers, our positive actions can create ripples far beyond what we can see. So I ask you, what do prayer flags inspire in you? For me, they are a source of peace and perspective, a gentle nudge to live with gratitude, to celebrate the interconnectedness of all life, and to focus on what truly matters. They remind me that even in the face of uncertainty, we can choose hope. We can choose to be a force for good. The next time you see a string of prayer flags, take a moment to pause and reflect. What intentions would you like to send out into the world? What blessings can you share? Let these flags inspire you to live with purpose and presence. Thank you for taking this journey with me into the lessons of Tibetan prayer flags and their rich history. If this reflection moved you, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the wisdom of Tibetan culture and its enduring relevance today. Until we meet again, may the blessings of the prayer flags guide your path with love and compassion. Not everything about Tibetan prayer flags is serene or simple. Over time, these sacred symbols have sparked debates about their commercialization and misrepresentation. While they are cherished for their beauty and spiritual significance, their widespread use often raises questions about how deeply we understand and respect their origins. As a content creator and admirer of Tibetan culture, I believe that education is key. Before embracing any cultural practice, we must first seek to understand it, its history, its meaning, and its role in the lives of those who cherish it. Tibetan prayer flags are not just aesthetic objects, they are deeply spiritual tools. For centuries, they have carried prayers for peace, compassion, and wisdom, dispersed by the wind to bless all beings. Rooted in Tibetan Buddhist philosophy, these flags are reminders of interconnectedness and harmony. Their sacred purpose deserves recognition and respect, not reduction to mere decoration. Yet, as these flags have gained popularity around the world, their essence is sometimes lost. In stores and markets, prayer flags are often sold as trendy items, stripped of their spiritual significance. This commodification dilutes their meaning and risks turning a symbol of profound cultural heritage into just another consumer product. For the Tibetan people, who have endured centuries of struggle to preserve their traditions, this can feel like a loss, a misrepresentation of something deeply personal. Does this mean we should avoid using prayer flags if we are not Tibetan? Not necessarily. These flags have the power to bridge cultures and inspire people from all walks of life, but only if we approach them with mindfulness and reverence. Instead of seeing them as mere ornaments, we should strive to honor their legacy. This begins with education, learning about their origins, their symbolism, and the prayers they carry. When we understand their meaning, we can engage with them in ways that are respectful and authentic. Using prayer flags thoughtfully can also bring personal meaning to our lives. When we hang them with intention, whether to mark a significant moment, set an aspiration, or invite blessings into our space, we participate in their tradition in a meaningful way. In doing so, we honor the spiritual values they represent while making them relevant to our own experiences. The challenge, then, is balance. How do we celebrate and share the beauty of Tibetan prayer flags without diminishing their significance? It begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "How can I use these flags?" we can ask, "What can I learn from them?" Their teachings about compassion, mindfulness, and interconnectedness are universal. By embracing these lessons, we can respect their heritage while enriching our own lives. So the next time you encounter Tibetan prayer flags, pause and reflect. Consider the history, resilience, and spirituality they represent. Let's strive to be mindful in our interactions with cultural symbols, ensuring that our appreciation does not come at the expense of their meaning. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Tibetan prayer flags and their deeper significance. If this discussion resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more thoughtful conversations about Tibetan history, spirituality, and cultural traditions. Together, we can honor these symbols in ways that reflect their true essence and inspire meaningful connections in our modern world. Until next time, may the blessings of the prayer flags guide your journey with respect and wisdom. Tibetan prayer flags are so much more than just colorful pieces of fabric fluttering in the wind. They are threads woven with history, spirituality, and cultural identity, symbols that have endured for centuries, carrying the hopes and prayers of a people devoted to compassion, wisdom, and balance. Each flag tells a story not only of the Tibetan people but of universal truths that resonate across time and borders. These flags remind us of the power of intention. Every color, every mantra, every symbol is carefully chosen, reflecting the interconnectedness of all life. Blue represents the sky, white the air, red the fire, green the water, and yellow the earth. Together, they form a complete picture of balance, urging us to live in harmony with the elements and with one another. The prayers inscribed on these flags are not for the individual, they are for all beings, carried by the wind to spread blessings far and wide. But beyond their spiritual purpose, prayer flags also serve as a testament to the resilience of Tibetan culture. Through centuries of political and social upheaval, these flags have remained a constant presence. They are silent witnesses to a history of perseverance and faith, symbols of a people who have found ways to preserve their traditions. In a rapidly changing world, they teach us that even in the face of adversity, there is strength in holding on to what is sacred and meaningful. In our modern lives, prayer flags offer lessons that are as relevant as ever. They remind us to pause, to set intentions, and to live with mindfulness and gratitude. In a world often consumed by chaos and distraction, these flags invite us to reflect on what truly matters: our connections to others, to nature, and to ourselves. If this story has touched you, take a moment to consider how you can bring the teachings of prayer flags into your own life. Perhaps it's by practicing mindfulness, showing compassion, or creating small rituals that connect you to something greater. The wisdom of these flags isn't confined to their physical form, it's in the values they represent. Values that can inspire us to live more meaningful and harmonious lives. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Tibetan history and the timeless wisdom of prayer flags. If this exploration has resonated with you, I encourage you to share this message and subscribe to our channel for more stories that celebrate the beauty of ancient traditions and their relevance today. Until next time, may the blessings carried by these flags guide your path and inspire you to live